Hi guys, my name is Lorna Charles. I work with the Wanda Charles group at Holiday Realtors located in Prosper, Texas. And right now I'm located at 9916 Trinity Drive here in Little Elm, Texas. We're only listed for $350,000. It's a 4-bed, 3.5 bath. It's a beautiful open floor plan layout with a lot of hardwood floors throughout the entire house. So anyways, I'm actually with my mother, Wanda Charles, here today. And we're here today to talk about some about the market changes that we're having right now. And so Wanda, if you'd like to go ahead and introduce yourself, that'd be great.
All right, so yes, this is Brantley here, and he is my son, and of course I am Wanda Charles, and so great to be here today. Thanks for inviting me. And it's a rainy day here in North Dallas, but we're making the best of it. So again, thanks for having me, and I think you have a couple of questions, so let's jump right in.
Okay. Alrighty, so right now we're having a lot of questions with our sellers. Are we kind of looking at, are we leaning towards a buyer's market right now? What are some of our changes that are happening with our market right now? It tend to be slowing down just a little bit. Listings are sitting on the market a little bit longer. Give us some insight.
Absolutely, Brantley. So there's definitely a huge shift in the market right now. Several homes that are going on the market. We're seeing more days on the market. We're even seeing new construction offer several different incentives that they're actually raising the bar, which is actually kind of making it tough on some of the homeowners that have just purchased over the last year or two. Again, back to your question, is this what we would call a shift in the market and moving towards becoming a buyer's market? And I would absolutely say at this point, yes. And a couple of things into that kind of helps us understand why that's going on. I would say, not specifically over the entire United States, but especially here in the North Dallas area, I think one of the things that contributes to that mostly is we've had a lot of corporate relocation clients that have come in from Toyota. We had a huge shift in 2017. That was a year that many agents and Toyota as well was preparing for, and I believe we had at least 1,500 families that were coming into the market for this past summer of 2017. So what happens when that occurs is you see a lot of the bidding wars and you see a lot of competition, and then now that those families have settled into the area and we just don't see that huge influx of people coming in right away. And with that said, the economy is shifted as well. Interest rates are starting to climb, and when interest rates start to climb, then we have less buyers in the market, and then when you have less buyers in the market, it just plays into homes being on the market longer. And then you just have to make sure that whenever you're hiring an agent and they're representing you, that they understand how to make the shifts in the market. So how can we as an agent that are listing homes be competitive? And one of those cliche lines is, it's a price war and a beauty contest, and we want to win both. So at the Wanda Charles Group, it's very important that when we onboard a listing, that we are making sure that we're taking care of our clients. So our photos are top notch, and just other incentives, kind of comparing it with the builder, making sure that we are being competitive as well. So anyway, I'm sure we could get into more later, but hopefully that kind of gives you an idea of, yes, I do think we are moving into a buyer's market.
So you kind of touched a little bit about Toyota and Fidelity and some of the big businesses coming in here and kind of changing the market as they're already settled in. So is there anything else that might contribute to why the market has been changing maybe into that buyer's market at the moment?
Well, again, going back to corporate relocation, I do think that you have, in an area like North Dallas where you have several different major companies coming into the area, you also have an influx of people who are, retiring, they're cashing out, maybe they were here for a short period, and then now they're kind of going back to, their roots. But again, we have several other corporations that are coming into the North Dallas area, if you were to ask me, is this going to be, you know, how it's going to look forever? It takes a while to build buildings. It takes a while to, you know, put those structures up. And again, we have Liberty Mutual coming in. We have JP Chase. You know, everybody's talking about, you know, PG Golf is coming here to Frisco. PGA, sorry. I'm not a big golf person. But it takes a while for that to happen. And so I do think that we have a lot of people that will be in the buyer's market that may be renting right now and kind of holding off as they're kind of getting adjusted to the area. So.
Gotcha. And so one of our last questions is, and this kind of seems kind of behind the scenes for sellers and something that we kind of help explain, is how does actually the interest rates might affect a seller's, you know, kind of selling power in a sense? What does that kind of look like? You know, rising interest rates, how does that affect actually a seller? Now that's a buyer thing, but how does that actually affect a seller in a sense, you know, the interest rates rising?
Well, I think primarily you're going to see that be more of an issue in kind of a jumbo situation, homes that are kind of above that $500,000 mark. I do think if you're kind of at that 350 and under, it's kind of the sweet spot. So I don't think you see a huge difference in that. I think the biggest part is, you know, our sellers have kind of gotten spoiled with the market. They're used to, you know, several showings. They're used to, you know, lots of agents giving feedback and you know, usually having an offer within, you know, less than 2 weeks of being on the market. Well, what's happening now is our sellers are having a hard time adjusting and catching up with the fact that, you know, it's not like it was last summer or, you know, the fall. And so when they go on the market, one of the challenges that I've even had as a real estate agent is, you know, they kind of want to push the market. Let's test it. Let's, you know, kind of price here and then see what happens. Well, the problem with that is, you know, for example, if you are, you know, priced at, you know, your home comes into a value somewhere between maybe, I don't know, 725 to 750, for example, and you have a seller that kind of want to test that market at 800. If you go back again to last year or the year before, you could have done that and probably done very well. Now what that does is it takes that buyer that originally was in a position that, you know, anywhere from 700 to 800, it wasn't a big difference because of the interest rates. Well, now when interest rates going up 1/4 point all the way up to 1/2 point or more, that same buyer has to readjust and realign, as that makes a big difference in the mortgage payment. So, and then on top of that, when you add on, you know, taxes and insurance and things like that. So I think right now the biggest adjustment is for clients that are seeing this shift that are kind of above that $500,000 mark. I'm really having to work with them and help them understand, you know, we have to make sure that we are being competitive on the market and then we're not testing the market.
And so I'm going to kind of add a question in. Now with interest rates rising, would you push, you know, sellers now that are thinking about selling to go ahead and put their market on, or would you have them kind of wait maybe till the summer or spring to maybe get a higher price? What would your insight be?
Well, of course there's several different variables and, you know, we're just talking in general. It depends on what your goal is. For example, if you have a particular home that you want to sell and you're not in a financial, you know, obligation that you need to sell that to purchase another home, you know, then maybe you've got more flexibility to wait to see what the market does bring this coming spring. Personally, I view that as kind of a risk. If you were to ask me and I was sitting down at the table with someone, should we try now or later and try to see if we can get, you know, another $25,000 to $50,000 in the spring? I would say, I think that if it's time to sell and you've made that decision, I'd be competitive with market now. Look what that looks like to sell, and then take that same amount right now, invest it in your 401k, your IRA, make up your money through your portfolio that way, versus waiting to see what the spring might be, because then all of a sudden you know, my guys out there that have already paid, you know, your insurance, I mean, not insurance, I apologize. You've already paid your taxes and things like that for the year. Well, you know, you're talking $700,000 price range. All of a sudden, you go on the market in the spring. By the time you sell, longer days on market, you're looking at another 6 months worth of taxes. Then on top of it, I would tell my sellers, you know, we're kind of in that, you know, hailstorm season, you know, tornadoes. We've got, you know, winter to go through. I mean, just replacing a roof, you know, at that particular junction before you go on market in the spring. I just think it's a risk, you know, and I don't see the market drastically changing and that's, you know, 700 to over $1 million price range in less than 6 months, especially going into the new year, because that's usually when you see the market actually increase in interest rates.
Gotcha. Perfect. Was there anything else you'd like to add? That questions that you get from your sellers a little bit right now?
No, I think I'm good. I think it's just making sure that you're always educating your clients and educating them so that you can partner with them so that we can, as a team, develop a strategy that makes sense and that helps them sell their home and, you know, looking at other options and making sure that we're always competitive. So, thank you, Brantley.
Thank you, Ms. Wanda. I appreciate it. So anyways, guys, my name is Brentley Charles and I work with the Wanda Charles Group, and this episode has been very informative. If you have any questions, be sure to drop a comment below and ask us. That way we can reach out to you with any questions that you might have, as well as if you are looking to sell your home and you just want some more information, just go to our website, fill out a quick information, and we'll be sure to reach out and give you guys a free home estimate. So anyways, I appreciate it. You guys have an awesome day and enjoy your Sunday football.